All right, Steve, if you were Chet Culver, what would you do about the Iowa budget situation?
Well, resignation's probably not an option because then something even worse called a Patty Judge would likely take over. So in lieu of that, and the fact that the election is still about a year away, I suppose there's two options here. I mean, I'd like to see a different governor. Obviously, I like to see somebody whose moral value system is more aligned with my own. But in light of that, or in lieu of that, since we're still a year away from an election, John, we have right now in Iowa a dire situation. And we have the most unemployment claims from Iowa workers that we've had since 1987. I mean, I was 14 years old, so that was a while ago. So with another election not till a year off, I mean, there's a lot of lives that could be negatively impacted and a lot of families that could really feel the crunch if we don't do something right now. So because of that, I have some sincere advice for Lieutenant Governor Chet Culver. This is not tongue-in-cheek. I think that at this point we need him to at least be some semblance of competent because a lot of people's livelihoods depend on it. So if I were Lieutenant Governor Chet Culver, here's what I would do. Number one, I would rescind my Executive Order 19, saying that we're going to have a 10% across-the-board tax or a budget cut. The idea that we're going to cut jobs at the Department of Public Safety, or we're going to take cops off the street, at the same rate we're going to cut other programs. It's just irresponsible, and it's just gutless politically. So I would rescind that order. The second thing I would do is I would make a promise to the people of Iowa and rally my own partisan base and tell them, let me tell you two things we won't do to fix this budget mess. I won't do two things Terry Branstad did. I won't sign into law a regressive sales tax increase, and I won't sign into law an even more regressive sales tax increase, which is expansion of gambling. I won't do that. So I would do those two things. I need to rally my own base. I need some political support. The third thing I would do is I'd make an announcement that we're going to have a special session, because I don't think the Republicans want one either. I don't think the Republicans want to have to go on the record about what they'd like to cut out of the budget. And right now the Republicans are getting the best of both worlds. They don't have to give out their own cuts because Culver's doing them all. And then they get to still complain that Culver's not giving them a special session, so they get the best of both worlds. So if I was Culver, I'd say we're going to have a special session. And in advance of that, we're going to have live statewide hearings televised from right up the street here at Terrace Hill with all of the legislative leaders and me meeting to discuss their suggestions heading into the special session. And I look forward to what the Republican leadership, as well as my party's leadership, suggest we ought to do to trim the state budget. That way you're spreading the misery, so you're not taking all of the blame heading into an election year. And let me tell you the final thing I would do. The final thing I would do is I was Chet Culver, and I really believe this is necessary. I'd call Preventative Health Sciences and ask them, how do I drop 75 pounds between now and next year? Because, John, it looks just terrible to have a governor on film drinking with legislators, partying at the Masters, and packing on about 100 pounds since he became governor. And he's standing up there with three chins, John, telling the people of Iowa, you're going to have to cut back, and some of you are going to lose your jobs. That is a terrible visual for him. And he needs to demonstrate some discipline in his personal life. I think that will help with his political ability and capability as well. And then I think he needs to just handle this a lot more capably politically. And there's wisdom in a multitude of counsel. And right now, by doing this essentially all on his own, he's going to bear all of the burden too. And that's not good either for him, nor is it good for the state of Iowa.